Hey everybody, today's video is about some defects that we had in our 2017 Keystone Laredo 325RL. The bedroom door, which was never installed properly from day one from the factory. And then there was another, minor defect, but on the emergency exit on the kitchen window, handle was installed incorrectly, and I'm surprised that nobody at the factory caught it. It was actually a defective part. The part was manufactured incorrectly, and then they used it and left it. So, but that's par for the course with today's modern RVs. RVing has become quite popular, and they've just been cranking these guys out like crazy, and as a result, things are not put together quite as well as they should. But after I fix things, they are better than what they were originally, and so they should last a long time once I've done the repair. So after we were traveling and settled into a place to camp for the night, I noticed our door going into the bedroom was pulled off from the wall. So I guess we might have not closed this door when we packed up. But I mean, the door doesn't weigh much, and as you can see, there's a beam here, so there's something for this to screw into. There are no nails that hold this frame in, or oh, there, no nails. It relies on, and I'll come around the other side, the screws from the hinges to hold the door in place. And you can see they missed the beam and screwed into just the side of the beam. So that's was not held up there very well, and eventually was going to come on down anyway. So they rely on the screws of the hinge to hold the molding in place to the beam. Now when you get this back up in place, you'll see there's a big gap here, and down at the bottom there is no gap. So what happened is they did not get this door installed straight up. It was angled inward a little bit at the top, and that's why they missed the beam. So what I'm going to do now is unscrew the hinge here, and I don't think that's recessed into the wood at all, and we're going to move this over so the door will come flush here, and now the screws will get in, screw into the beam, and that should take care of that. Can't believe they did it. You know, quality control didn't pick up on that either. So it was missed at the factory. And I'm also going to have to undo the one screw on the bottom hinge so the door can pivot up vertically. So hold that up against there. Take out the bottom screw first. And that will allow the door to pivot. Alright. Huh. There is 2 sets of screw holes in there. Interesting. What?
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her side.
Okay, so now there's no gap along that edge. It's doors up straight. Hey everybody, today we're going to fix one of our windows where the opening crank broke. So I'll show you what it looks like. Right there, and you crank the window open like this. This is called a torque operator, is the correct term. And you can see the one arm piece broke. It's a thin piece of metal, and it's riveted onto this piece here. This piece is nice and strong, but that is just very thin. So anyway, it broke, and so I did find a source for parts for the windows. And the company that I found it on, it was Pelland Enterprises. It's Pelland and then ENT.com. And if you look under window parts, you can find it. Now there's 2 brands that look almost identical, but the dimensions are very slightly different. So you got to make sure you got the correct manufacturer. One was Kinro, and the other one is Her. So the manufacturer, Her, is the less expensive one. But there is no way to figure out who manufactured the part that's in our particular trailer. So I contacted Keystone and gave them our VIN number, and they were able to tell me that the manufacturer was Kinro, which happens to be the more expensive part. Yeah, it figures. But it was $55 plus shipping and tax, so it came out to like $65 for this piece. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is, they got this riveted in. They don't use screws and stuff. So there's 2 rivets, one there and the one there. So what I'm going to do is drill those out. You can see them, they're painted black. That's the one there and the one there. So I'm going to drill them out. I have a pop rivet gun and some rivets, and hopefully this won't take very long to replace. So, flimsy parts, but they're expensive. So first step is to make sure that I got the right part, and that it is physically the same length as the arms that are on the one that's there, and they look to be. When I did order it, I did measure the distance from from here to the little roller part, which is there. And that's how I came up with this part, by matching up the dimensions. So it looks to be correct. So now we're going to drill out the 2 rivets. And I bought assorted rivets, so we should be covered there as to having the right size. Alright, here we go. There we go. Came off. Yeah, there's the broken piece. Alright. Alright. Slide that off. There we go. Now there's a piece that sits in the middle of the track. It goes back and forth there. Alright, I gotta get the rest of the rivet out. There we go. All right. Need a little extra persuasion there. Okay. Yeah, for $55, they don't give you a knob with it. It's all separate. Alright. So now we got to get these in the track. Just like that. Center that up. So far, looks good. Want to hand me the rivets and the rivet gun over there? So now we gotta figure out which is the correct size rivet. And oh, these all look too small. Yeah, it's a little small. Alright, I did buy fatter ones, just in case. Let's see. That looks like that could be it. And it comes through the other side. Perfect. That is the correct size. When I was at the store, I had to guess at rivet sizes. I bought the assortment, but then I was like, well, I don't know if those are really quite big enough. So this one is 3/16 by 1/4. So now I got to change the bit on the tool. There we go. Get that centered up. good we're flush in there. It broke. No. It's supposed to snap. All right. Kathy had a shocked look on her face, so I imagine you guys did too when you heard that pop. Window didn't break, the rivet snaps. All right. Here goes the other one. All right, on there, nice and tight. All right. So now I'll take the knob off the old one. Right there, and put it on the new one, and we will be good to go. Screw should fit. This is the exact OEM part. As told to me by Keystone anyway. It's nice though, the manufacturer has the actual original bill of materials for the trailer. You give them the VIN number and they can see who they use. Because let's face it, RV manufacturers, they use whatever parts are available at the time. So like I said, Kinro and her, very, very similar product, but may not be the exact replacement. That's why I called. It was worthwhile checking out. Cost just a phone call. All right. Ta-da! It works. Now the other window, they made a boo-boo when they first assembled this emergency exit window. This handle does not work properly going into there to lock into position. It won't go through. And that is because I compared it with the other emergency exit windows. This handle is upside down. So I'm going to flip it. I'm going to have to drill this out and then either rivet it or put a screw. There's not much clearance there though, so hopefully they won't get messed up. So, but anyway, we flip this handle around and then it should work okay. So I drilled out the original rivet and flipped this over and then re-rivet it, and then I had to kind of flatten this out because it was a very tight fit through here and it wouldn't go through, and I flattened out the rivet on the other end on the other side, and now it passes through and it works. Yay. Not bad. So a little ingenuity there, and it works fine now. I can't believe that this was from the factory installed upside down, this handle, but now it works properly. Alright, so the question now is, why did this part fail? I mean, you got a nice heavy piece of metal here, and then it is riveted to this thin piece of metal which flexes, and then this little wheel which rides in the track in the window. As you close it, it goes back and forth. Now, what I noticed on this was that this arm is bent here. So the other one bent too, and then from constantly bending, it finally just gave way and broke. This wheel that rides in the track was not rotating. I freed it by rotating it and then freed it up. So the new one works really easy. I mean, it is super easy to open and close now, where all the others are much more difficult to turn. So I'm going to lubricate all of these wheels and arms on the remaining windows so that this doesn't happen again. So these bind up, these little wheels, and then this starts to pull on it like this as you're trying to close the window, and eventually the metal breaks right here. So we're going to do a little preventative maintenance on the remaining windows because, like I said, $55 for this piece, plus shipping and tax, that was another $10, so $65, rather pricey. So I don't feel like spending $65 for each and every one of these windows. So we're going to lubricate it, and what I'm going to use is, I use this on my slide out, and it works great. It's got petroleum distillates and silicone, and what it does is it helps prevent things from rusting and leaves silicone behind, which leaves a nice coating so it can't rust, and hopefully they'll keep it free. So it probably should lubricate these windows at the track, because there's a little track that runs on the underside of that window. If you lubricate that, I think that will fix the problem. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and spray each one of those wheels and have Kathy operate the window from inside, open and close, till the wheels free up. So, and then hopefully I won't have to do this again. Alright, so you see the track that I'm talking about? So I'm going to take this little 3-in-1 lube. Just watch you don't get it in your eyes. Just a little bit up in there by where the wheel is. Okay, operate that window. Do it a couple times. I'm trying to get it on the wheel itself. All right. Does it feel better? Huh? So I did that with each and every one of those windows, and now they all operate like the new one. Nice and easy, no binding, and so no flexing of that metal. So a little ounce of prevention could save a whole bundle of money on these torque closers and openers. So that's it for now. Catch you later. Bye.
Thomas says thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Until next time, happy camping.